President Trump unfortunately made a very big miscalculation when he launched the trade war. He was persuaded by some of his advisors, or he believed himself, that China's economy was very weak. And I think he thought, well, I'll put on some tariffs for a few months and then China will give in to my demands. Well, but he found out that that wasn't the case at all. They'd done great damage to American farmers, for example, and they weren't easy to win either. So he's got a problem coming up because he's got a presidential election coming up in 2020, and his main priority, of course, is to be re-elected. And so I think that he thought that this trade war was damaging him. Therefore, that's why he decided to come to an agreement. I mean, the pity is that not all the tariffs are gone, but nevertheless, this is good. It's a good step forward. It was, if he can get out of the mistaken path that he went down, at least partially, then that's very good. I think that, yes, it depends who wins the election. I'm pretty sure that if the Democrats win the election, then they'll get rid of the tariffs altogether. Because I think that even some people in the United States are hostile to China, think that these tariffs are an extremely stupid tactic. I mean, after all, who's paying the tariffs? The American people are paying the tariffs. I think that many people, the majority of opinion in the United States has always been against the tariffs, despite the propaganda made by Trump. So I think if the Democrats are elected, then I think that they'll just get rid of the tariffs. They may pursue an anti-China policy, but they'll pursue it by some other means, right? Okay. If Trump is elected, re-elected, well, then of course he's got himself in a mess because he's still got these tariffs, and he's not a person who likes to be forced to retreat. So we may have a continuation with the tariffs, but I don't think that a new trade deal, phase 2, will be done before the presidential election. So, and what will happen then depends on what is the outcome of the presidential election. No, I would like to say that I believe that more sensible policies will be pursued in the United States, but I don't honestly believe it will. I think the tactics may change significantly because many people think that the tariffs are very stupid, right? Okay, there are other means. Some people, for example, Steve Bannon, former advisor to Trump, thinks that everything should be concentrated on trying to destroy Huawei, because he thinks the most important thing to do is block China's high technology. Some other people want to use financial weapons. They want to use the position of the dollar and other things. Some other people want to have military pressure. I don't mean that a war. Nobody proposes a war, but increased aid to Taiwan, sending more ships through the South China Sea, that type of thing. So I'm afraid, because I think that the fundamental situation in the United States is the slowing down of its economy, I think there may well be tactics, but I don't think there'll be a big change in policy. I don't mean by that there won't be, any ups and downs in pressure. As I said, I think it's very good that there's the phase 1 trade deal, and that obviously means pressure having gone up a lot has gone down a bit. But I don't think, regardless of the outcome of the election, will be a fundamental change in US orientation. It's rooted in the very slow growth of the US economy at the present time and the success of China. So I don't think that the US will change its policy. More or less in exactly the way that it's doing at the present time. That is to make very clear it doesn't want this fight, and I think it's been rather skillful. We will not hit you, land the first blow, but if you hit us, then we will hit you back. That's the only way to deal with such a policy. So it's to be very reasonable, to point out that this is a lose-lose for both countries, but to have a very firm line. And then it obviously depends upon the success of China's domestic economy. If China's domestic economy continues to be successful, then the US trade war won't have a huge effect on China. If China made mistakes in economic policy, then of course this will have a negative effect. So really, the key to the situation is the guidance given to China's domestic economy, not the relations with the US. I would not be very obsessed by relations with the United States because I don't think it's going to change. The most important thing by China, there's nothing China can do that will change the situation with the United States. right? Because the United States is pursuing a policy for its own reasons. The thing which China can deal with is China's domestic policy. So if I was in China, that's what I would be concentrating on.